Financial experts right now are concerned about a growing trend among many Americans. The question is, should you be? In this video, we're going to look at what these financial experts are saying, what they're concerned about, and I want to offer you some of my reactions to their concern and present you a different path so that you can be more free financially. So let's watch this video on CNBC where they are outlining what these financial experts are concerned about.
The average vacation cost for one person in the United States is a little under $2,000 per week.
More than a third of summer vacationers, 36%, are willing to take on debt this summer for their travels. The reason that's worrisome is because the average credit card charge.
So this is what they're worried about, is that 36% of Americans are willing to take out loans or credit card debt to fund their summer vacation. They're willing to take out credit card debt and not pay it off right away, not like put it on a credit card and then pay it off when the bill comes, but they are willing to pay payments for months upon months just to go on a summer vacation.
Which is over 20%, which is close to a record high. I don't want to tell people they can't have any fun, but this represents a lot of people taking on expensive debt. And this is the kind of thing that can linger.
Globally, 72% of millennials and 65% of Gen Zs said they plan on spending more on leisure travel in 2024 compared to 2023. In the U.S., 47% of millennials and 42% of Gen Zs said they plan to take on debt to go on summer vacation.
There are so many compelling reasons why people choose to take on debt to have these vacations. If your kids are dreaming of going to Disney World, and there's no way the family could ever really swing it without going into debt, it could be a memory the family will have forever. Parents often can rationalize spending in these terms for their children.
Here's how Americans are paying for their summer vacations. Credit cards are the most common way people pay for their vacations. 62% of Americans surveyed said they put at least some of their trip on a credit card. Financial experts say that this can be a risky move if the borrower cannot pay the balance in time to not be charged interest.
The average credit card balance is already over $6,000, according to TransUnion. If you add $1,000 in vacation expenses to that, maybe it feels like a drop in the bucket, but it just makes it that much harder. That's $6,200. If you make minimum payments at the average interest rate of 20.7%, you're going to be in debt for 18 years, and you're going to pay more than that.
That is wild. As someone who has really focused on our financial situation for our household and has gotten out of, I've gotten out of all debt. My wife and I have gotten out of all debt except for our mortgage. And so we're debt free outside of that mortgage. And we just refuse to use debt to pay for anything except for a house. That's the one thing that we, justify for ourselves to pay. And we got a 3% mortgage. And so it's not something we want to keep forever, but it's something that, we're okay with. But putting something like a trip on a credit card and then be willing to be in debt for 10, 15, or like he said, just making the minimum payments 18 years, that's just not an option for us. But we still want to go on trips. So what do? Well, let's keep watching.
$9,000 in interest. So some of this is making a bad situation worse.
The debt feels like this trade-off for a lot of people. It's ultimately the interchange between money for these lifelong memories and seminal experiences. And that's a sacrifice many are not only willing to make, but feel so strongly in doing so. Especially when debt is a weight many people are already accustomed to carrying.
Consumers are still out there using their credit cards. Their credit card balances are over $1 trillion now. We're seeing actual delinquencies on credit now rising. People are dipping into their savings. But bottom line is that they're still spending.
Not all credit card users are paying interest. 43% of Americans said they used their credit cards to pay for their trips, but paid it off in full to avoid interest. This also comes with the perk of accumulating rewards points.
Use those rewards points and miles. Put those to use. But it doesn't make sense to pay 20% interest just to get 2 or 3 or 4% cash back or airline miles.
In order to avoid interest while still having more time to pay off the credit card balance, some vacationers choose to open a new credit card that provides them with 0% interest for a set period of time.
The risk here is that once the term expires, the rate goes way up.
Another
So the question is there another option to pay for a summer vacation for your family? As a dad of 4 kids, there's always the conversation, when are we going to go to Disney World? When are we going to go on this trip and this trip and this trip? And, so the question is, as a parent or as just an adult, a single adult, or a married couple without kids, how do you fund your summer vacations when, let's face it, costs are going skyrocketed, right? They're going up just for regular things, for your utilities, for your groceries, for gas prices, for all of the things that you just do to exist. The cost of living, the cost to just be alive in this day and age has gone up dramatically. And we're not even talking about house prices and rent prices, and that just makes it even worse, right? And so, we kind of tell ourselves, well, we deserve this, and so we're willing to make really bad financial decisions in order to make it happen. So let's keep watching, see what the next thing is that people, Americans, are willing to do in order to go on a summer vacation.
Another option vacationers are considering is taking out a loan for their trip. 5% of vacationers plan to take out a personal loan from a financial institution, which typically carries a lower interest rate than credit cards. The average interest rate of a personal loan in June 2024 was about 12%. 6% of those surveyed said they plan to borrow from friends or family.
Okay. If you have got to borrow, this isn't like a gift from a family member. But if you have to borrow money from a friend or a family member to go on vacation, you don't need to go on that vacation. I'm sorry, but you're just not at a financial spot where that is possible. Now, later in this video, I want to show you a path to getting yourself and your family to a spot financially where you can go on whatever trip you want to go on and not have to borrow money from a lender, borrow money from a credit card company, or borrow money from friends or family. Like, what? That's so awkward and just a bad idea.
Those represent a slippery slope. Personal loan rates have gone up a lot.
That debt equals irresponsible is so pejorative and such a simplistic way of looking at this, that there's all different reasons and rationales why we might intentionally go into debt. People don't think taking out a mortgage for a home and making this a lifelong investment is irresponsible, but it can be a really bad investment in a lot of cases. So you have to consider, where is it important for you to invest your money? And maybe it is this trip with these lifelong memories with your family that you'll never get back.
Another option is loaning money to yourself out of a 401k account. A loan is different from a 401k with...
Guys, don't do that. Fees, tax rate, just stop. Stop. You think a credit card's bad, then take out a 401k loan at 40%? That's terrible. What are we doing?
Withdrawals have different rules and tax implications.
Oh my
Loans
goodness.
are not permitted from IRA or IRA-based plans. The reason someone may go this route is instead of paying interest to a financial institution, they would pay themselves back over time with interest. That payment will go back into their retirement account and eventually accumulate compound interest.
Borrowing from your retirement plan definitely worries me, because really the biggest predictor of future returns is time in the market. So even though we don't know what stocks are going to do this week or this month or this year, over the long haul, they've been massive wealth builders. So I feel like that would be more of a last resort if there's kind of an emergency. Going on vacation is not an emergency. It is interesting how, while you could say on one hand that it's worrisome that credit card balances are near record highs and the personal saving rate is near a record low, this is powering a lot of economic growth. But what's good for the economy is not always good for your household finances.
Consumer spending makes up nearly 70% of U.S. GDP, which means a rise in consumer spending can spur economic growth. But a rise in consumer debt can lead to a hard pullback in spending, which can cause what's called deflation.
Deflation is just generally associated with not just recessions, but deep recessions in the economy.
A recession occurs when there's, quote, a significant decline in economic activity that is spread across the economy and lasts more than a few months.
Historically speaking, deflation means that prices...
Okay, let's just simplify this. What they're saying is, hey, it's good for the economy when money is moving around from person to person, from business to business, and we're doing stuff. We're spending money because that means like money's being exchanged, value is being exchanged, and that's good for an overall economy. But don't do it with debt. Don't do it with debt. So let me just share with you an alternative approach to what the masses are doing when it comes to extra spending, like vacation spending, or just like recreation, just going to do fun things. A lot of us as Americans have our pockets are being constrained because of inflation, because of rising costs. And so, let's face it, wages at jobs are not keeping up with the increase in costs. So what do? Well, what I've done, my wife and I have done, and our family, is we've turned to building an online business that takes my knowledge and my expertise, and I teach that to other people on how to do that. And then I sell courses and digital products on the back end by helping people achieve what they want to achieve. And so for me, I run 2 online businesses. One is the one you're on right now, which is called Creator Fuel, where I help people like you build online businesses that fuel freedom, financial freedom, time freedom, freedom from needing to dread Monday because you are going to a job that you don't want to be at, freedom from having to ask a boss for PTO because you are just needing to do that, like you have to ask for permission to take some time off, and freedom from having a cap on your income. So that's what I help people do, because I've done this myself in my other online business called Preach and Lead. Creator Fuel's brand new. Preach and Lead has been around for 9.5 years. And for 9.5 years, it started out as a side hustle. And this is what I'm advocating to you, is start an online business through affiliate marketing, selling digital products, selling online courses, sharing with others the things that you know how to do, that they have an interest and a desire to learn how to do, and fund your vacations through that. When this was just merely a side hustle, my online business, it changed our lives. It changed our lives because I was a pastor, not making a lot of money, and we had a lot of student loan debt and a lot of other debt as well, like van debt. We had to have the minivan for our 2 girls at the time, our 2 daughters. And so we started this online business, didn't really intend for it to be a business, but it turned into one. And so that led to a book and an online course and eventually digital products. And it was because of that online business that we were able to pay off our $60,000 plus amount of debt in just a matter of a few years. Is because we added that to our budget. We added that to our household income. And so my advocation to you is figure out a way to do a side hustle, do an online business, do something extra to pay for the things that you want to do. You have the ability to change your life. It's just a matter of putting that energy towards something that will pay you for what you're worth. And so we're about to go on vacation here in a couple days, and we have a budget. We made a budget. We know what we're going to spend. We know what we're able to spend for this little trip, and we're looking forward to it. It's not going to be stressful because we're not going to have it on the other end of the vacation. We're not going to have a credit card payment come due and us figuring out, okay, how are we going to do this? We're all about living intentionally. So if you want to live intentionally and change your financial situation for your household, then go to creatorfuel.net/challenge. And if you're up for it, then join the 7-day Build Your Online Business Challenge, where I'll help you narrow down, okay, what do I have to offer the world? What can I teach other people how to do that I've done? And how can I turn that into a business that will fuel freedom? That maybe for you is just a matter of having an extra $1,000 a month. What would that do? Maybe for you, you'd like to leave your 9 to 5. And you would love to build something on your own. Or again, maybe you just want to have the ability to pay for that summer vacation, pay for Christmas, and not have to go into debt for it. If you're up for it, go to creatorfuel.net/challenge and join the 7-day Build Your Online Business Challenge. And I would love to walk alongside of you and help you change your financial situation for your family. And if you want to learn more about what this online business challenge is all about, you can go right here, watch this video, and learn more about me and my journey and learn how you can do the same. Go right there. I'll see you in that video.